Hello, you're listening to Dodge It, a Pokemon rewatch podcast. My name is Will. My pronouns are he, him.
And I'm Brianna. My pronouns are she, her.
We just thought we'd do a podcast kind of inspired by the Morphin Grid and the Dark Side and Marvelous Divas, just where we just wanted to talk about episodes of the Pokemon anime and talk about them.
And me learning more about Pokemon because he is the expert.
I wanted an excuse to rewatch Pokemon and talk about it.
And I am the lovely girlfriend that said yes.
Yep. So this episode, we just kind of wanted to give you an introduction to us and also to tell you how we think episodes are going to work going forward. If you want to get right to the episodes, you can skip this one. We'll release episode 1 at the same time. You can get right into the meat of the show, but we just thought this would be good to give some background on us.
Because you're going to have to listen to our voices this whole time, so you might as well get used to it, dearies.
I wrote out a list of questions and stuff. We already went over a couple of them in the intro here, but how did you get introduced to Pokemon? So for me, Pokemon's pretty much been around my entire life. Some of my first memories ever were of a Pokemon-themed birthday party when I was 2 or 3. I remember getting Pokemon as gifts. I remember every day I needed to watch the cartoon we're covering. When I was starting school, it was getting in the way of me watching Pokemon every day.
And for me, Pokemon was a show that existed. Because I did not have a lot of TV growing up. I watched a lot of Disney. So Pokemon was more introduced to me by my neighbors who I grew up with. They had Pokemon cards. And I was like, what are these things? And they said, so this is Pokemon, and they introduced me to the show. And I was like, okay, this is interesting, but it seemed more geared toward the guys. But I like the cute animals, so that's basically what made me come back, was the cute animals.
Once we started dating, I kind of took her to dive into the deep end.
Which worked out, because I pulled him out of his shell. So I feel this is a fair compromise.
Yep. What is your favorite main game or region?
I really don't know, because everything, unfortunately, kind of blurs together a little bit. So
that's very fair.
I'd say the recent one, how do you pronounce it?
Paldea?
Paldea is the most recent one, because that's, again, recent.
Mm-hmm.
It's so pretty. And I have a school. I can go to a school, and I can learn about things, because that is my thing.
Yes. And for my favorite, I think I'd have to go with Generation 2, Johto. When I was growing up, I didn't have the Pokemon games, but my dad came home one day with a copy of Pokemon Gold that he had found on the ground in the parking lot at work.
And it was then that the ripple began.
I mean, I had been into Pokemon long before that because I was watching the cartoon. This was when I was in 1st or 2nd grade. He had brought it home. The label was kind of rough and stuff, but it was a Pokemon game, and the only portable device we had was a classic Game Boy. We cleaned it off and it played. The problem was that the battery was already dead, and this was long before batteries were starting to die out en masse for the games, because I think it was just in rough shape. So it could not save.
Yep.
Yeah. So I played the first 2-3 gyms of Johto about 1 million times. Got really good at beating the Miltank. That, I think, just because I spent so much time there, that's one of the reasons that I enjoyed it so much.
And speaking of games for me, my first was both Fire Red and Leaf Green, because I did not know that there was no difference really between the two. I thought one is red, one is green. I'll go on different adventures. That didn't happen.
Yep, that's fair. All right, next up we've got, what's your favorite side game?
So, I don't know a lot of the side games. I know Pokemon Snap from Will introducing it to me. That was pretty cool because I love taking pictures. But he also showed me Mystery Dungeons. which I've tried, and I didn't get too into those, but I might want to try it again later.
For me, the mystery dungeon games, especially Sky, I think are my favorite. You can't beat that story when you get down to it. It's just one of the best stories that Pokemon has told. But special shout out to the Poke Park games on the Wii. The mini games were not great, but it was really cool to like run around in a almost mini action RPG as Pikachu. So then for the next one, do you play or at least know the metagame?
Me, I do not. I had to ask him before we started recording what the heck that was. And then he said, hey, love, you know that thing that I've been doing a lot? That's what the metagame is. And I'm like, okay, the thing that is stealing you from me recently. I kid. I'm happy for him.
I know enough about competitive Pokemon to like watch it like you might watch a sport, but I've never been any good at it myself. Like I enjoy enjoy watching other people be good at it to a certain extent, but I don't have the patience for making a whole team, and two, when you get down to the numbers, if it's not 252 or 0, I don't have enough knowledge of the nuance for that.
Shinies!
Yep. Next one is, have you ever encountered a shiny besides the red Gyarados? And if so, what was your first one and did you catch it?
The first one that comes to mind for like a first was Arceus.
Yeah.
I got a shiny Paris.
Nice.
And I loved it.
Yes. For me, in Soul Silver, there was a random shiny Pidgey as I was just completely full odds, ran into it, and I caught it, and I could have sworn I brought it into the bank, but it's gone missing, unfortunately. But I did catch it. I used it. It wasn't very good because it was before Mega Pidgeot, or before I even knew what I was doing, really. And so once I had gotten to like Claire, it was really dragging behind, even though I really wanted to use it. Next is, more relevant for the podcast itself. Do you have a favorite character from the anime?
Dawn is the first one to come to mind, actually, for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like Dawn. I like May. I like most of the girls.
Yeah. Now, I wrote down the question. I don't think I even gave any thought to it.
Oh, no.
I like Team Rocket.
Oh, yeah, Team Rocket, yeah.
Team Rocket's real fun.
Oh, Iris, I think her name is.
Yeah.
It's Dragon Trainer.
Yeah.
She was cool. I liked her.
My memories of her are not as fun, but we will get to that eventually. In several years, probably. If we keep up with this, hopefully.
Oh, we will. I
Yep.
plan to.
Yep. All right. Now, do we have a favorite Pokemon from the anime? Specifically like Ash's Pikachu or Misty's Psyduck?
Any Eevee.
Any Eevee?
Eevees.
Yeah.
All the Eevees.
Yep. I think they only become like on a main person squad like later on, but
And all the Eevee evolutions.
Yes. I think I would have to go with either Jesse's Wobbuffet or Brock's Krogunk. It's pretty funny and like unexpectedly badass. Do you have a favorite type? One of the 18 elemental types?
Oh no, if only I knew what they were. Fairy's a type, right?
Yes.
Okay, fairy's a type. Yes, I love fairies.
Yes, fairy is a type.
Fairies. Making sure, I'm still learning.
If I had to pick one, I'd probably pick electric. I like that it only has the one weakness. So if you can like cover for that weakness, it's usually pretty good. Runner up to normal, because it has a similar thing. The only issue is that it isn't strong against anything. I often don't use them on my team very much just because my strategy usually involves hitting everything with super effective stuff. If you had a gym, what would your gym be? I wonder what it would be.
I'm gonna shock you.
Yeah?
I'm gonna do a ghost gym.
Really?
I'm gonna do a ghost gym.
Yeah?
I wanna do ghosts.
Fair enough.
I'm falling in love with them right now.
That's very fair. I'd probably stick to my type and do an electric gym. I've been working on a concept for one in my head. And I think it would be pretty fun. And we might be a little late to asking this one, but what is your favorite Pokemon?
Any of the EVs.
Yes. For me, I have like one of each type pretty much. But if I had to pick like a super favorite, it's usually going to be Snorlax.
So, least favorite Pokemon.
Least favorite.
I don't really have one. I like all of them equally. Even ones I don't pick right away, I still love them in their own way.
Pretty much the same for me too. I have Pokemon that I forget about. The famous one for that is, I think, Unpheasant, the regional bird from Unova. I don't seriously have any ill will to it because I think you'd kill me if I said it with any seriousness.
You can't see, dear readers, but I am giving him the look. Dear listeners.
Dear listeners. Umbreon. There was a time I was looking for something to cover both dark moves and psychic moves. I had used a lot of psychic types because they usually learn Dark Pulse or something like that. But I wanted to use a dark type. But the problem is that while a lot of psychic types learn dark moves, not a lot of dark Pokemon learn psychic moves. But did you know that Umbreon does learn psychic?
Yes.
I didn't.
Because I taught my Dusk psychic.
And I think seeing you use it was like, it learns freaking psychic?
I taught him something.
And I was looking for it, and I don't think I even ended up using Umbreon for it, but that's just one of those memories. The other least favorite, and like I will play it up that I don't like it, is Electivire.
Okay.
Mostly because I really like Electabuzz.
That's fair.
Because, like, Electabuzz is fine. Like, what I should say is Electivire is fine, but Electabuzz's design just seems so much better, in my opinion. And so it feels like backwards move compared to, like, almost every other evolution and Pokemon out there.
So, where would you want to live in the Pokemon world? So, the psychologist in me, if I ever did go into psychology more, Lavender Town, because of the rich history of that, and the haunting melody just intrigues the psychologist in me. But the empath is screaming, no, 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 we are not going to the haunted town.
Right.
Any place that has like a lot of flowers, a lot of nature, definitely somewhere like that. I know there's one that I cannot think of right now, but it was in one of the games. It was so pretty with all the flowers and everything.
Was it maybe Florama Town from Sinnoh? I
think so.
Yeah, that when you said a lot of flowers, that's the one that first popped into my head. For me, I'd probably want. I've always liked Goldenrod. Whenever I've made OCs, they're often from Goldenrod.
And Goldenrod's the.
That's the one where the milk tank lives.
That's it.
Yep, it's the big city in Johto.
That's it. That's what I needed.
Yeah. I just like big cities. I like the underground area. I spent a lot of time there. All right, what is next?
If you could own any but just one Pokemon to have in our world, what would it be?
Oh, see, that's a tough one. Because, like, I can't just pick Snorlax because then I'd have to feed a Snorlax.
Yeah. I really like Mischievous.
Yeah?
I really love that Pokemon.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And I'm learning to deal with all the spooky stuff, because I used to be terrified of it, and I still am. So I think having a Mischievous would help kind of see the mischief side of being a ghost type and learning to deal with the spookies with laughter instead of screams.
That's fair. I don't know. I feel like if I got, like, a genie wish to do it, I would want to pick something that, like, I could solve a lot of the world's problems with. So, like, Suicune that would help purify water, or...
And it's funny you bring that up because we missed a question.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I was going to bring it back up after this. maybe like a grass Pokemon that could help grow a lot of food for people.
Would Celebi work?
Celebi might work. You do time travel. Anything that gives you time travel would be nice.
Enter Doctor Who theme here.
Yep. Maybe like an electric Pokemon and provide a lot of free energy.
That'd be nice.
That I could have one of my favorites in Electabuzz. And there we go. All right. So then we'll circle back around to the one we forgot, which was favorite legendary.
Celebi.
Celebi?
I just love the little one. It's so cute.
Yes, it's very cute.
And, okay, I got Uxie.
Mespirit.
Mespirit.
Azelf.
Azelf.
That's what it is. Yeah.
I like those guys. They're so cool.
Yeah. For me, I gotta go with Kyogre. One of my introduction to the online Pokemon communities I'm a part of was Cerebee's Pokemon of the Week. So back when, I think it was around when Gen 5 was coming out, I was in like high school messing around on the computer in class or whatever, and I stumbled across Pokemon of the Week. And it was talking about Kyogre. And it sounded stupid freaking strong because like full health, auto makes it rain, items can make the water move stronger, and then it has water spout, which is stronger when it's at full HP.
Yeah.
It just blasts through anything unless you like double resist it like Palkia.
Is that the one I made you a needlepoint thing for?
I think so.
Okay, because I'm like, wait, I think I made you a needlepoint project thing that had it on. Had Kyogre. Thank you, Kyogre.
Yep.
You're going to learn, dear listeners, that I have a very hard time pronouncing Pokemon names, so he's going to have to help me a lot.
Yep. Luckily, that's what the show is for. Will help us learn how to pronounce it correctly. Like, yes, it is Arceus. So I think that's it for the main questions. So now we'll just kind of go into the show. Basically, my plan is that every episode we'll talk about an episode of the show in order, do a little intro, then go watch the show, and then we will come back and talk about it. And we'll just like describe kind of what happened in the episode, and what we liked, what we didn't like.
What we don't understand, which is going to be me, because I did not grow up with this.
Probably. And then I don't know how well it's going to work, but I was thinking at the end we would try to do a rating system for it, kind of inspired by the contest stats from the games. So the 5 contest categories are cute, cool, smart, tough, and beauty.
I'm not going to be able to do every noise for every time, dear listeners, so you'll just have to roll with me.
Yep. And then we'll like rate them on like say 1 to 5 in each category. Eventually we can come back at like the end of a season or whatever and see how different seasons average against each other, how well each episodes did, the high points, the low points. And so for cute, obviously the cuteness of the episode, how well it did on that, how wholesome it is. For cool, is general, just general coolness factors, how well overall we liked the episode, I think. Smart.
Light bulb.
Smart, I think we'll probably be judging it by like how well each episode works as a story, kind of see it from a more intellectual point of view, and see like how well the plot works, how well it relates to the overall story of the season, things like that. Tough will be rating the battles themselves that happened. If the battle was good and entertaining, it will be higher rated. If the battles aren't, then they won't be. And then beauty will be like how well the show looks. Like if it's drawn well, animated well, even like the music done well, different things like that. And then we'll rate them all on 1 to 5-ish. I expect the episodes to be about an hour-ish, though to be honest, this one has gone way faster than I thought it was going to. But that's okay. This is our first podcast, despite me listening to a good bunch of them. This is the first one we're ever doing ourselves. So we will have some growing pains and we'll figure stuff out.
But I think that's what makes it fun, though. We're learning as we go, and people don't want perfection. They think they want perfection, but they really don't.
Yeah, if everything was perfect, it'd get awfully boring.
Indeed.
Yep.
Which is interesting enough, dear listeners. One of the first things he ever said to me when we met.
Yep.
Stick with us, guys. Yep. We're figuring this out as we go, but I promise you, it's gonna be cool. Just hang in there, y'all.
I'm Will.
I'm Bree.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.